Hey guys and gals, let's unbox and build Year of the Rabbit by Lego, set number 40575. This is a gift with purchase offer, so like if you spend, I believe, $85 or more through the official Lego shop, they will drop this in your cart for free. Of course, they can change at any time, and of course we got other various actions of our bunny. So it looks like we get to make this into a card or some sort. So let me find a thing here to open this up, or I can just peel the tape off. Let's see if we can here. The box cutter's still MIA. You know how that thing goes. Alright, got one end of that ripped off. Alrighty, not too bad. Let's see here. What does one of these look like inside? Okay. So what goes in there, huh? It had something with the instructions, though. This is perforated. Maybe it's to stick a love note or something in there. Let's take a look at the instructions. We'll look at that in a bit. So we got several bags here. Looks like some interesting pieces. And an instruction manual. Pretty cool. So I think this is going to be a nice gift with purchase. Okay, it's obviously unnumbered, so you're going to have to just dump everything out on a good solid surface here. Let's take a look at the back here. So I guess you're supposed to take this, open it up, and you drop some money in there. And then of course you sign your name on the box and you give it as a gift. Okay, well at least I opened it up very carefully. Well, since this is provided to me by the Lego group for review, I won't be able to give that away, so it's just for fun. But if you get one, you can give it away to someone. Okay, so we're going to start building here. We're going to look at the parts as we go, how I usually do it in my other channel. And how are we going to know which bag has what? You're just going to have to open up bags until you find it. Now, if you're giving this away as a gift, you may want to leave it up to the recipient to build. See, I've already found part of step one, so I got to look and see if there's any 1x2 pink plates in here. And for those who are not on my second channel, that's where all the reviews are eventually going to be. So, eventually, not right now. And this is the style that I do. I just build and just talk. You know? Let's see here. So we're doing everything right now here. Now, you know. And I just start building, you know, and just start talking about the build quality. And so far this build's, well, we just started, so it's pretty good. And make sure I got it set up to where I can see the time, and yes, it is a bedside build. So I'm sitting here building a set, and, well, getting myself tired. Well, I don't see any 1x1. No, we need some 1x2 corner plates. So by the time you get through the first few steps, you got to open up all the bags anyway. So if you get this set and you want to build it anyways, you're going to have to open up all the bags. Now, it'd probably help if you sort by color first. Now, from what I can tell right now, we have plenty of small pieces. So, if small pieces are not up your alley, this probably won't be the set for you. I'm kind of jumping around on steps here right now because I do see some of the pieces that I wanted to start putting on there. And that's how my mind works. Okay, so here on this channel I have to keep things more suitable for a general audience. So, as you can tell, we get a lot of plates. Here's a printed eyeball. And now I got to find some round plates. So if this video is just too lengthy for you, you feel free to fast forward. I'll have it indexed anyways. Okay, what do I do when I can't find parts? I start sorting by color because it's easier just to do that. So I'll set those there as my anchor. Get that off there. And then that's what I do. Like right now I'm looking for some of these tiles here. And I'm looking for some 1x2 plate number 1s. Ooh, that's a Pearl Gold 2x2. Cool. Can always use those. So, ever get one of those on the back? Yes, I did. So that's how I usually do it when I need to find a specific part. Like I just found one here. So stuff can be buried real quick. And I got to make 2 of these. Now, here's a rule of thumb. The further we build on this, alright, let me take a look here. It's like this. Okay, I notice I have the plates backwards. This is going to get confusing. And sometimes I do get frustrated when I can't figure out the small stuff because this stuff can get pretty challenging here. Why am I not putting this on my second channel? You know, somebody's going to ask that. Well, to cut to the point there, the reason why I'm not putting this on my second channel, it is a set that was supposedly small. The box looks small, and I thought, well, this should be a real quickie, you know, and maybe I should have thought twice because if you've noticed, it's all pretty much tiny pieces. Okay. They don't give you a parts count on these type of promotional offers, so I just have to guess at them. Now you do get plenty of snot bricks. That's pretty cool. Okay, it's a nice color scheme for that. Bet that's all going to be buried up though. Okay, see one of those over there. A 1x1 by 2/3 brick with 2 studs. We'll set that there. And oh, and by the way, this is not to be considered as a tutorial. This is a set that you can purchase, and you can get all the parts pre-packaged. You don't have to hunt for anything. So far, we're doing pretty good. It's got the little progress bar too. Too bad they don't have the little bunny rabbit hopping across that. I think this is related to the Chinese New Year sets. I'm not quite sure. A Year of the Rabbit. Okay. Yeah, I've been swamped with reviews. I'm just about at the end of finishing everything up. I know some people have been asking why, what's with all the reviews, why are you swamping the channel with reviews? That's pretty much why, 'cause since I've been in this ambassador program, that's what I've been doing. And mainly since I am a recognized fan media channel, you know, I gotta kind of show off the stuff. And since LEGO has provided this to me, you know, there's always an advantage of watching the reviews because you can voice your opinions on this, and then LEGO will be able to see it. So yes, LEGO does keep tabs on this channel now, so we got to be careful. I have nothing bad to say, and no, don't even ask. I will not be doing leaks on here. I've already been approached, and I had to give a good firm no over that one. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not really much of a news channel, so no leaks there. We got to build 2 of these. So, and we may need that there. Yes, I do sound tired. It's a bedside build, so I may get a little drowsy through this. Some watch me just because I'm ASMR. I'm the Bob Ross of LEGO, because the imagination is the most important thing when you're building with LEGO. You know, when I'm looking at a bunch of these pieces, I see other projects that these could be used for. You know, like you can make a happy little tree or something, you know, like these. These are like these. These are terrain plates. I could use that for like a backcountry scene. You got some leaf pieces here, all sorts of stuff. So you could make a nice heavily greened area, or this could assist in a build. There's not enough here to do that, but you could. And now I'm looking for a 1x1 brick. So I got to start pulling all the white pieces aside until I can find it. It's probably staring at me right in the face. Very rare 2x4 brick. Okay, here we are, right here. I knew I'd find it eventually. And this must be the legs. Okay, just like that. And then we set those there. And okay, you're going to have to wiggle those in a bit right under here. So they kind of sit in there like that. And on my second channel, some use these to help them build a set. Sometimes some sets get pretty involved. And they didn't tell us to make 2 of these. I guess if Lego doesn't do it, I guess I don't have to do it too, right? I kind of got confused there. But if you're stuck on a step, that's when I come in and help you. That's pretty much what these are. At first they were just meant as ASMR content until I've been getting a lot of messages on the second channel about, wow, you know, I can actually follow along with this and see where I made a mistake at. Well, just like what I did there. Sometimes I'll make a mistake when I'm building, and I'm not known for sugarcoating, and I'm not known for censoring my mistakes. Once I make a mistake, it's out there. And the reason why I don't do that is because if I make this mistake, I'm assuming somebody else is probably making the same mistake too, and it just wouldn't do you any good if I hid that. Alright, now I'm looking for this. These always come in handy, these bricks with the studs on the front. Okay. And so far from the parts I see in this set, they're pretty good. It looks like we could use a lot of these pieces. From what I'm seeing, it could be used for vehicles. Angular plates, snot bricks, or bricks with studs on the front. Well, one of the legs are coming off. There we go. Right there. Alright, looks like we got ourselves a little bow or something. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Okay. I'm looking for more of the little cheese slopes here. Oh, for those who've never watched me on my second channel, I've been known to drop lots of pieces on the floor. Sometimes I get a little carried away, or sometimes I'm working way over here off to the side of the screen, and I shouldn't do that, you know, because I want you to be able to see as much of the build progress as possible, so it can help you if you're stuck on an area. Now this seems pretty trivial, pretty straightforward, but you know, sometimes even I get confused and mess up on things. It's okay to make mistakes, you know. It's not like we're gluing it together. So you can easily correct your boo-boo and move on, you know. Okay, stick that turntable plate there, and we're going to be smooth tiling this area off. So far, my build experience, and this is how I do raw reviews. A lot of people script them. I do a finalized review on this on my main channel, which is this one. On my second one, I call them raw reviews, and basically it's an expanded version. Like right now, I'm talking about the build experience right now. Like so far, this is a very soothing build. I'm not getting tired of it. I'm not getting bored with it. So when I do the tutorials or the reviews, not the tutorials are always fun to do. They're a challenge. But like doing this, for example, I'm just working, okay? If I start feeling like I can't do it, or I'm just getting tired of working on this set, yeah, I will probably just, you know, kind of just take a break. And that's when I know my retention rate has pretty much exceeded its limits. Okay, but so far this is a very delightful build. This is more like an Easter project than anything else. I could see this being used for Easter. So if you get the set for yourself, save it for Easter. That's all I can say. Just save it for an Easter project. This would be great. You know, maybe it's a nice spring day. You can sit out under the shade tree. It's probably nice cool weather. Sit out there and just relax. Bring a nice cool beverage out and just build this. I can't do it because it's a promotion offer and I have to get it done. So I can't just sit on this one. When I get the reviews, I have to get them done. I have a time limit. I have to get them done. I can't just say, ooh, look, Lego, I can throw it in my stash. No. So I don't get that option. I have to do it now. Alrighty. Okay, I don't know what we're working on here. It could be the chest or the rear. We don't know yet. Well, that answered my question. So first thing I need is this. Looks like this is going to be the tail. And that's exactly where that goes, is right on the rear end. The rear hindquarters. And, oh, see these legs here? They're still crumbling apart. So when you hold on to this, you may want to hold on in between and just give that a good push. Don't press on the legs like I did. As you can see how those are coming apart there. Those should have been thought out a bit better. Pretty cool in the back, and that's what we have there. Okay, so we got that done. Wow, we really are filling up all the studs. I mean, literally. So we are completely, I'm hoping we're hiding all the studs on this thing. That'd be really cool. Obviously we have one stud there. So maybe we'll crown that off or something. And then we put in the slopes. So far I've noticed the manual, there's not a whole lot of pieces in terms in the steps. So it's very subtle, it's just very relaxing all around. So now we got to build the head. Now the parts palette in this set is pretty good. This doesn't have like yellows, it has very few reds, mostly white and black, and some tan. But all in all, it's a pretty good, nice little build. And sometimes these type of builds have some really good snot methods like that. So you got 4 studs, we just made it out of that. So you got a 2x2 brick with 4 studs. Well, maybe not anymore. We're going to be adding more to this. Okay. And we rotate it around. And we got a sub step here. Okay. Ooh. My hands are getting a bit tired. So now I got 4 studs. It's almost like a little top of a brick there, huh? We're already over. We're just made it halfway through the book. Okay. Okay, we flip that over. And we need to find ourselves a 1x2 plate. Alright. Yeah, the further you go on, though, the better. I had a question asked one time. Jay, what's the most efficient way to do a Lego set? You know, is there a correct way to build is there a correct way to build a Lego set? I actually had that question asked, and yes, it's the way that you feel comfortable with. It's not what I do. I try different methods out, but find a method that works for you, because you're the builder. You're building the set. Okay, so some people sort by color, some people sort by brick type, and it just depends on how your building style is. So some people pre-sort. Like I didn't pre-sort this. I just started diving right on in. Now you're never really supposed to do that because it takes forever to find the parts, but for something this small we can get away with it. But there's no right or wrong way. You know, there's other people that will tell you, hey, you can only build a set one way. No, there's millions of ways. It's the way that works for you. I can't answer that question for you, because I don't know. You know, I do know, however, that if it works for you, do with it. It's like some people sort by color or part type. I sort by part type. It works for me. Color just did not work. I just couldn't get it to work for myself, so I just sort by part type. That's just from my collection. Usually sets are smaller, so then we'll sort by color. Okay, so that's how we usually do things. Well, I do it. You may not like that idea. You just find whatever works for you and stick with it, Okay, so this thing here is kind of wiggly right now. It's kind of flimsy here. See, these easily break off. So that's that. We got to really strengthen that up here. And well, now with this plate here, it's kind of barely holding that together. It's probably going to get better as we go here. Now, I'm just kind of curious, though, since it is the holidays and all. How many of you are watching me on a plane? Like you're going on your trip, you're going out of town, or maybe you're taking a train ride or a car ride. How many of you are watching me, to pass the time? Just listening, I've had some tell me they just listen while they're driving. They just listen to the video. I mean, it's not really safe, but some do. Like a little podcast, Basically, that's what these are. Some people just listen to me, talk about things and stuff. So it just depends. Ooh, these little slopes sometimes get to be brutal to try to pick up. Okay, we're going to start with this 1x4 plate with bow here. And yeah, we'll continue on. And I noticed something. There was no stickers in this set. Wow, this may be a 10 out of 10. Because I'm interested in building it. The building's pretty smooth. The build quality seems average, but I'm not swearing through it or anything, so I think this would be a winner here. We got three pieces we're working on now, so oh, and by the way, speaking of cars and planes and stuff, don't build Lego on a train, plane, or a car. Oh, we got to make 2 of those? Did I make a mistake here? Let's see. No, we didn't. It just goes on here like this, with the white side on the bottom, like that. Okay. And let's see here. They got some nice contour on that too. Oh, we got a little white there. Uh-oh, we got to fix that, but that could just be fur. That could just be a fur patch. Alright. For those who watch my second channel, I usually sometimes will take a look and see if we have mirrors. And what I refer to as a mirror is something like this. This is a mirror. There's one built like it, but it's in reverse. So what I usually do is I start there. Since I'm on the left-hand side of the table, the left-hand side is the one that I'm building from now. The right-hand side is the reflection of that. So in order to speed this up a bit, that's what we'll do. Now you don't have to do this. I've said this on my other channel as well, is that you do not have to do this method if you don't feel comfortable doing it. Don't do it. Just take your time. This is Lego. I'm on a deadline. I have to get it done in a bit of a hurry, but just take your time. You don't need to rush like I'm doing here. I've been doing reflections and clones for so long, it's pretty easy. And then by the time we're done, that's where we're at here. This goes right there. And this one here goes here. Okay? So we just did this one here. Here's the instructions for the next step. It goes on the other side. So see, I just saved myself time. Like I said, you don't have to do that. To some individuals, that's very hard to figure out. And that's one of the beauties of being on the spectrum, because I can see that. I can just see it in my mind on how things are supposed to be. Alright, so these go here. It's got a nice little offset right there. Pretty cool. So they use that plate and the angular plate to kind of give it a nice little offset. Well, it doesn't look much like a head yet. Maybe that's where the face is going to go there and the ears are supposed to go in these plates here. Well, we don't know that yet because we haven't gone that far. Well, obviously now we can tell where the nose is going to be. And let's see here. Here it is late at night and my stomach is growling. And no, not going to have rabbit stew. Let's see here. Alrighty. Okay. So, it's kind of like a heart there. We need to get another one of these. There we go. Kind of looks like maybe a stretched out heart, huh? And then we got, oh, okay, I see. This goes in here. Must be the nose. Well, nose is going to become a runny nose. Must be allergy season because the nose is starting to run away. And then it goes here, like that. And the eyes. Let's put the eyes on there. I wonder what he's staring at. Oh, I don't see any orange pieces, so obviously it's not a carrot. There we go. And we got to build 2 ears now. So we haven't attached the head yet. Now we're doing more sub steps. Let's get these pieces over here. We'll start doing the ears. So, if you're not into small little plates like this, it's probably not going to be a good set. Just a lot of small parts. Unless you're hurting for plates. But so far the parts in here are just kind of average stuff that I've always seen. Okay, that's a regular one. Looking for an inverted one of those. Okay. And one of these holders. Common question I get asked is, how long have I been doing Lego for? A long time, probably longer than most people have been around. I've been doing this since I was like 4 or 5 years old. So probably well over 40 years now. Except I did take a dark age spell when I was in high school and college. I didn't get back into it until grad school. Okay, stick those on there. And my apologies for the camera angle. There we go. Sometimes I wish I had 2 cameras. Oh, we got to put the head on next. Alright, so doesn't really show where the head's at. I'm just assuming it goes there. So, I mean, let's take a look here. Yeah, I can barely see that plate. So you put the head in there, yeah, it's supposed to be like that. And so far it looks pretty good. And this has got some weight to it too. So far this is a really good build. I would just guess that this would be on the fragile side. You got plenty of gold tiles and stuff in here. Like, what is it, 4 1x2 flat tiles in pearl gold? Let me guess, this piece is probably next, right? Yes, it is. Okay. And when I do the review on this, it'll all be just done in one video. And eventually my reviews will be like this. They will just be complete builds. They will be indexed, so when you want to skip to a certain section, you can. So eventually there'll be no more dedicated just reviews. It'll just be a complete build of the set. And I would just review it as I go. Put a leaf there, and there's a leaf here. I need more of those leaf pieces, you know. That's a good piece to have. I need to get more of those. Those will always come in handy. I did a haul on them, but... Ooh, pearl gold stud flowers. Oh, we can always use those, huh? We got to have golden buttercups in the gardens. So I bet that bunny's going to sit on there when we're done. But we're not done yet. We got to make 2 of these little leaf pieces. Even get some red stud flowers too. Just set that right in there in the corner. And yes, I always do copy what's on the book. Except if I'm doing mirrors or something, a reflection, but there we go. Now you don't have to go in and try to match these grooves on these flowers and make everything match. Some people even line up all the Lego logos. I can't go that far. So it looks like these sit here and this tile sits here. This is going to be meant to lock in all those plates and stuff. So he's going to have a little perch, and he sits on here. So I'm assuming these 2 studs fit in these 2 tubes right here. Okay, so we're going to see if we can get those lined up in there. And there we go. So he's meant to detach. Okay, so you can use them for anything you wish. So there we go. And that's how you know when you're done. Alright, so you can give it to a friend that's already assembled, and you can keep all these extra pieces for yourself too. There's a lot of good pieces out of that. That's pretty good. So now let's take a look here. So obviously he does this, and he can see everything. So play nice. Alright, so I know the camera angle's a bit off, but that's what he looks like, and he does do this. He doesn't bob his head too much. And so, yeah. Some nice snot methods in here. Now, let's get into the review. First thing is, what the information I was gathered, you have to spend $85 or so. I'll have the correct amount in the description in order to get this set. Now this is a promotional offer that is running from, I think, December 26th. So for the launch date for this, I'm not really sure. I've got like 20 different dates with this. And yes, I do film my reviews early. So what I'm gathering is that this is probably from the 20th, 26th, but then again they said the run time for this is, I don't know if I can mention it or not, so I'll just put in the description when the run time is. But I see this more as an Easter set than anything else. Okay, so play value, I mean, it's just more or less it's just a table, or table queen, shelf hog, however you want to look at it. But nonetheless, it's still pretty good. Could you drop this in a city? Well, you could. You could put this as a statue. Imagine this sitting in the middle of your city like this. Maybe around a turnabout or something would look pretty cool. So he could stare at all the traffic all day. And of course, for mocks, you could maybe expand on this, maybe make more terrain around it would look pretty good. So that is that. We obviously saw the build experience and the build quality. Some things were kind of flaky, like the legs, and the build experience was pretty good. So I enjoyed putting this together. Do I think it's worth spending the money to get this and have it put into your cart? I'll leave it up for you to judge, right? For somebody like myself, I would say yes. He can only do this, but I'm going to wiggle him up and down and say yes. I think it would be a great idea, because the info that I was given, you know, like I said, it can change at any time, was $85, which I do think this is a good deal for this. I mean, I don't think this thing's worth 85 bucks alone, but I just think it's pretty cool. And of course you got the box that goes with it too. And of course if you put them together, you really cannot put him in the box unless you hand it like that. But anyways though, I mean, it was a nice little build. I enjoyed putting this together. So what do you guys and gals think? Is this a good promotional offer? Like I said, I'll have the details in the description for it, but for the most part though, it was a very nice, enjoyable build. So if you do get this added to your cart, I think it's a really good build.